The memorial district of Sao Paulo had been rebuilt with quiet reverence, its shimmering walkways a deliberate contrast to the scorched ruins that once defined it. Captain Aidan Cross walked its length in measured steps, absorbing the familiar hum of reconstructed towers and the distant echo of aerial trams moving through crystal-lit skies. He had been here countless times over the years, yet the gravity of this place never loosened its hold. It wasn't the architecture he came for, it was the wall. The curved obsidian slab rose higher than the surrounding buildings, engraved with tens of thousands of names, each etched with precision so exact that no two lines appeared the same. Aidan stepped forward, raising a hand to the section he knew by memory. His fingers met the name Luna Cross, still as stark and painful as the day he first saw it. "She'd hate that you keep coming here," a voice murmured behind him. Aidan didn't turn. "She'd hate more that I'm still breathing while she's not." Sergeant Mara Hale joined him, leaning on the edge of the platform with casual posture that failed to hide her concern. "She'd want you to stop treating this place like a graveyard. Earth isn't dead. We survived." Aidan lowered his hand. "Survival is not the same as living. But it's enough to fight back." He inhaled slowly, focusing on the name one last time before stepping away. The city stretched beneath them like a testament to stubborn resilience. Humanity rebuilt from ash with a speed that defied prediction. After the Vraxian Empire's assault 12 years earlier, every nation on Earth had unified under a single banner, the Terran Sovereign Coalition. Borders dissolved. Rivalries vanished. The species that once argued about everything had found a common enemy powerful enough to silence old divisions. Reconstruction had ended the moment fleets reassembled. Humanity shifted from healing wounds to sharpening weapons. A soft tone chimed in Aidan's comlink. "Captain Cross," came the crisp voice of Admiral Rhea Monroe. "Report to the Sovereign War Council immediately." Aidan straightened. "On my way." Mara shot him a knowing look. "Big call?" "Bigger than us," he replied. "Then I'll prep the team." He nodded, stepping into the magrail that whisked him across the district toward the colossal spire at the city's center. The Sovereign Council Tower rose like a blade piercing the sky, its exterior pulsing with soft blue channels of energy that carried data and power throughout the structure. As Aidan entered, security drones scanned his armor imprint, confirming rank and identity before the doors parted. Inside, the council chamber glowed with atmospheric light. Holographic stars rotated above the circular table where the highest-ranking leaders awaited. Admiral Monroe stood at the forefront, silver hair bound tightly, gaze sharp as ever. "Aidan," she greeted, motioning him forward. "We're ready to brief you." He joined the circle, eyes shifting to the central hollow field where a planet materialized, dark, mountainous, webbed with glowing rivers of magma. Vraxos Prime. The throne world of the Vraxian Empire. A murmur rippled across the chamber as intelligence overlays highlighted sections of the planet. Monroe clasped her hands behind her back. "We've reached a turning point," she began. "Our fleets have pushed the Empire out of human space. Their supply lines are fractured, and their outer colonies have begun to rebel. But the core remains intact, and so long as the Emperor lives, the Empire will not collapse." General Ithar, a stoic strategist known for his blunt assessments, gestured toward the holomap. "The Emperor coordinates his rule through a psionic control lattice. It amplifies his commands across entire star systems. Remove him, and their governance implodes." Aidan studied the pulsing green veins of the lattice. Destruction of the Emperor meant freeing billions across enslaved worlds. But the corridor leading to him was saturated with defenses no fleet could breach. Monroe continued, "We're launching Operation Sovereign Hammer. A single infiltration team will land on Vraxos Prime, breach the inner fortress, and eliminate Emperor Kael'thyrix." Aidan understood instantly. "You want Ghost Lance." "We need Ghost Lance," Monroe corrected. "Your unit has a track record of succeeding where probability says otherwise. And the Emperor's attention is on our frontline fleets. This is our only chance." Aidan's jaw tightened. "What are the stakes if we fail?" General Ithar tapped a separate projection, revealing a long, spiked construct orbiting a dead moon, a weapon of impossible scale. "This is the Eidolon cannon," he said. "A planet killer. Our intel suggests the Emperor intends to use it on Earth once he regroups. If your mission fails, it fires." The room fell silent. Monroe stepped closer. "Humanity needs you to end this war. Permanently." Aiden didn't hesitate. "Then we leave immediately." Ghost Lance awaited him aboard the TSV Vengeance, humanity's largest hybrid dreadnought. The ship loomed in the hangar with the presence of a living beast, sleek, angular, reinforced with alien alloys fused into Terran design. Its engines radiated a low thrum that vibrated through the floor. Lieutenant Gene Park met him first, tablet in hand. "Navigation sync complete. Weapons calibrated. If hyperspace doesn't tear us apart, we'll reach Fraxos in 70 hours. "Comforting," Aiden replied. Corporal Elias Rourke checked his rifle nearby, eyes narrowed with predatory focus. "If the Emperor breathes, I'll fix that." Dr. Nira Solis, adjusting medical gear, approached with a softer look. "This mission isn't just about killing. We're stepping into the heart of an empire older than any human nation. There will be civilians, enslaved species, political layers we don't understand. And we'll handle each as needed," Aiden said. "But the Emperor dies." She didn't argue. She only nodded, knowing the cost of hesitation. Mara appeared last, slinging her pack over one shoulder. "The fleet's ready for departure. You give the word." Aiden surveyed his team. Each carried scars from the war, physical or emotional, but their stance held unwavering purpose. They were the kind of people who didn't wait for hope, they created it. "Board up," he ordered. "We have a throne to break." The Vengeance lifted from Earth's dockyards with a slow, deliberate rise. Through the viewport, the planet receded into a glowing sphere of blues and greens, serene from this altitude yet bearing the weight of every soul depending on them. Aiden remained silent, watching the curve of the world disappear behind expanding stars. He touched the memorial emblem engraved on his armor, Luna's emblem, and closed his eyes for a brief moment. "This is for all of them," he whispered. Mara's voice came from behind him. "We'll finish it, Aiden." He opened his eyes, resolve sharpening. "No," he said. "We'll end it." The stars stretched into lines as the Vengeance leapt into the ether fold, carrying humanity's final answer to an empire that had once believed humans would never fight back. The empire would soon learn otherwise. The TSV Vengeance cruised through the dark as a fortress of metal and will, its hull shimmering with alternating patterns of Terran steel and reverse-engineered Vraxian alloys. Inside, the ship pulsed with disciplined movement, crew members navigating narrow walkways, systems humming in synchronized patterns, and the subtle vibration of reactors warming for the upcoming jump. Captain Aiden Cross walked along the main corridor, observing the crew. Their faces carried exhaustion layered with determination, a familiar expression for those who'd survived the first onslaught and refused to yield since. The air smelled faintly of machine oil and sterilized metal, a scent that marked humanity's leap into a war it never asked for. Gene Park waved him over from a console embedded in the wall. "Aiden, the etherfold calculations are ready," Gene said without looking up. Streams of luminous equations projected from the screen, shifting too quickly for the untrained eye to follow. "It won't be a smooth ride." "When is it ever?" Aiden replied. Gene tapped a final key, sealing the data. "We'll hold, but the Vengeance wasn't built for elegant transitions. Terran components resist the fold's distortions. If we push too hard, the stabilizers will fight the currents instead of flowing with them." Aiden understood. Human engineering thrived in adaptability, not grace. "Keep the ship in one piece. That's all we need." Across the deck, Sergeant Mara Hale oversaw weapons inventory. She glanced up as Aiden passed. "Everything's stocked, sealed, and armed," she said. "If something out there wants to take a bite out of us, we'll punch back harder." Dr. Nira Solis arrived with a small case of medical injectors. "And I'd prefer nobody tests those weapons unless necessary," she said. "We're entering a region even the Vraxians avoid. Try to limit injuries to bruised ribs and wounded egos." Mara smirked. No promises. Aiden motioned for his team to follow. Briefing room. 10 minutes. The chamber dimmed as the hollow table activated. A three-dimensional map displayed a swirling vortex of blue and violet currents, the ether fold, a chaotic passage through compressed space-time. Most civilizations treated it as unstable and unpredictable. Humanity treated it as a shortcut. Aiden pointed to its twisting interior. Once we enter, systems will fluctuate. Communications will vanish. Gravity control may buckle. Our route cuts travel time by 70 hours, but we'll be flying blind. Corporal Elias Rourke studied the formation with a hunter's scrutiny. Any sign the Empire patrols the exit? They monitor it from a distance, Jean answered. But they don't risk entering. Their ships aren't built for ether turbulence. Lucky us, Mara said. We get the fun part. Aiden closed the briefing with steady tone. Stay sharp. The fold won't kill us. Losing focus will. Move to stations. The command bridge glowed with the cool light of navigation screens. Admiral Monroe appeared via secure feed, her expression composed. Captain Cross, your window opens in 3 minutes, she said. Once you transition, we won't be able to track your position until you emerge near Vraxian territory. We'll hold formation, Aiden replied. Any final updates? Only this, Earth stands behind you. The feed ended. Aiden took his seat. Initiate fold entry. A low rumble passed through the ship as thrusters aligned. The stars outside elongated into thin streaks before dissolving into swirling ribbons of light. The ether fold opened like a vast whirlpool, pulling the Vengeance inward. Brace, Jean warned. The ship lurched violently. Panels flickered, gravity wavered, and the hull groaned from pressure that defied physics. Stabilizer output dropping, Jean shouted. Counter with secondary anchors, Aiden ordered. Already trying. Jin's fingers danced across controls. The distortions are stronger than predicted. Mara gripped her seat. If this is the gentle part, I'm not enjoying the rest. The lights dimmed to emergency blue as the fold tightened around them. The ship trembled as though clashing with invisible tides. A sudden jolt slammed everyone forward. Report, Aiden demanded. Primary stabilizers overloaded, Jean said. I'm rerouting power through the auxiliary plasma coil. That coil wasn't designed for fold pressure, Nira said, appearing on the bridge screen. It is now, Jean replied. Aiden steadied his breathing. Do it. Jean rerouted the flow. For a moment, the ship quieted. The deck settled. The hull stopped shaking. Then the fold twisted sharply. A shockwave tore through the interior. Aiden caught himself against the railing. Rourke's voice echoed through comms from the armory deck. Captain, we lost part of the weapons grid. Damage control teams are moving. Keep the deck sealed, Aiden said. Jean? Working on compensating for the twist, he said. If we don't adapt the frequency, the fold may split the outer hull. Give me direction, Aiden said. Manual override. We need someone to recalibrate the starboard anchor in person. Aiden unstrapped. Where? Aft corridor, behind engineering. Mara rose instantly. I'll take it. You'll take the next one, Aiden said. I've got this. He sprinted through the corridor as the ship rattled violently, metal groaning under pressures no vessel should endure. Sparks erupted from exposed conduits. Engineers braced themselves at emergency stations. Reaching the anchor hub, Aiden grabbed the stabilizer wheel. It fought him with fierce resistance as gravitational forces shifted unpredictably. He strained against it, repositioning the anchor into alignment. Alarms blared, but the readings began to settle. Jin's voice came through. Anchor realigned. Good work. Aiden returned to the bridge, chest tight, but mind steady. Status? We're stabilizing, Jean confirmed. Hold for 10 seconds and... Space snapped into stillness. The fold released them. The view cleared into a haunting panorama of the Vraxian border, a star field fractured by debris from ancient conquests. Floating wreckage drifted like silent witnesses to centuries of Imperial warfare. The silence ended immediately. "Multiple hostiles detected!" Mara shouted. "A Sentinel fleet, moving to intercept." On screen, Vraxian warships materialized, sleek, dark vessels shaped like serrated blades. Rourke joined the channel. Guns primed. Aiden stood tall. "All hands, battle stations." The Sentinel fleet closed in. Energy lances erupted from their hulls, streaking across the void. The Vengeance countered with a barrage of kinetic bursts, scattering debris fields into improvised shrapnel clouds that tore into Vraxian shields. Aiden watched the tactical display. Vraxian formations remained rigid, predictable, always pressing forward in identical patterns. "Jean, disrupt their line. Adjust our thrusters to mimic drift. Make us unpredictable." Jean grinned. "On it." The Vengeance jerked into erratic maneuvers, dodging plasma fire. Mara unleashed coordinated volleys. Rourke's precision shots shattered exposed hull sections. A Vraxian commander's transmission crackled through, cold, mechanical. "Terran vessel. Your defiance contradicts all projections. Submit for processing." Aiden replied without hesitation. "We don't submit." The Vengeance surged forward, slicing through the enemy line with a thunderous burst from its reinforced prow. Explosions scattered across the void as Vraxian formations collapsed. "Path cleared!" Mara shouted. "Throne World corridor open!" Aiden exhaled hard. "Prepare drop pods." The Vengeance angled toward the volcanic glow of Vraxos Prime. In the hangar, Ghost Lance assembled. Mara tightened her harness. Jean checked the pod interfaces. Rourke loaded armor-piercing rounds. Nira steadied her breath. Aiden stepped into his pod. "This is our only chance," he said. "We land, we strike, we end this." The countdown began. 5, 4, 3. The pods launched, tearing through space toward the empire that once believed humanity would break. Humanity was coming to prove otherwise. The drop pod roared as it tore through the atmosphere of Vraxos Prime. Flames streaked past the window, casting an orange glow across the interior. Aiden braced his boots against the metal floor and felt the vibrations rising with each passing second. The pod shook so violently that the restraints groaned. Mara's voice cut through the static. "Steady. We land in 12 seconds or 12 pieces?" Rourke muttered. "Focus," Aiden said, gripping the handrail. "We hit the ground, we regroup, we move. No delays." Outside, the sky churned in volcanic reds and blacks. Lightning crawled between the dark clouds as rivers of molten rock snaked across the surface like exposed veins of a wounded world. Vraxos was beautiful in a brutal way, dangerous, ancient, hostile. The pod slammed into the ground with bone-rattling force. Metal screeched, dust erupted, and the shell cracked open with a hiss. Aiden leapt out first, rifle raised. The air hit him like a furnace, thick with ash and the acidic scent of mineral smoke. The landing zone was a jagged expanse of obsidian cliffs. Far ahead, the capital HFY Dominion rose in impossible structures, towers of black crystal braced with shimmering gold conduits, their spires clawing at the sky. At the center stood the Emperor's Fortress, a colossal pyramid-like structure feeding energy into the heavens. Mara joined Aiden, scanning the horizon. "Nothing welcoming us. That's a bad sign." Jean adjusted his visor, pulling up data overlays. "Sensors are scrambled by atmospheric interference. We won't see incoming threats until they're nearly on top of us." Nira stepped out last, shielding her face from drifting embers. "Let's reach shelter before the ash storm thickens." "Move," Aiden said. Entering the capital. They advanced across the rocky terrain, descending into a network of maintenance conduits beneath the city. Vraxian infrastructure followed a rigid pattern, precision angles, sharp crystalline edges, and walkways lined with luminescent fibers transmitting psionic power. The deeper they went, the more oppressive the atmosphere became. Slaves shuffled along upper platforms, forced into silent lines. Neural bands circled their temples, glowing faintly. Aiden forced himself not to react, Breaking their control required killing the Emperor, not reckless heroics. Rourke whispered through the comms. Seeing execution pillars above us. Aiden glanced up. Hollow screens displayed images of prisoners collapsing under psionic compression. Their bodies turned to dust without a sound. Nira's breath hitched. How can an empire live like this? Fear keeps them obedient, Aiden said quietly. But it won't last. Ambush in the lower city. As they crossed into a narrow corridor, a metallic clang echoed behind them. Aiden raised his fist. Halt. 3 Praetorian guards emerged from the shadows, armored in obsidian plating etched with crimson insignias. Their eyes glowed with faint blue luminescence reflecting psionic augmentation. Mara lifted her weapon. Here we go. The first guard lunged with startling speed. Aiden parried with a burst of kinetic fire, forcing the alien back. Mara rolled aside, detonating a small charge that cracked the guard's shoulder plate. Rourke fired a clean shot through the breach, dropping the enemy instantly. Another guard charged Jean. He flung a hacking beacon that overloaded its visor, causing a brief flash. The guard staggered, and Nira struck its throat joint with a shock injector. It collapsed, twitching. The final guard swung a serrated arm blade at Aiden. He dodged, countered with a sharp strike to the elbow joint, and fired point-blank into its chest. The guard fell in a heavy crash of metal. Silence returned. Jean knelt beside the wounded guard, still breathing faintly. We have one alive. Good, Aiden said. We need intel. Interrogation and revelation. They dragged the guard into a sheltered alcove. Nira knelt beside him, monitoring his vital signs. The alien's voice rasped, distorted through damaged vocal cords. Terrans, you should not be here. Aiden crouched. We're heading for the Emperor. Tell me what he's planning. The Praetorian's eyes glowed faintly. He awaits you. Your arrival was predicted. Mara frowned. Predicted? That's not comforting. Aiden pressed. What does he intend to do? The guard exhaled shakily. He will activate the Eidolon cannon. Earth will burn. Your fleet cannot stop it. Nira's expression hardened. Why annihilate an entire world already scarred by war? Because resistance must be erased. The guard whispered. One example prevents 1,000 rebellions. Aiden leaned closer. Not anymore. The guard's eyes dimmed as consciousness faded. He was alive, but barely. Nira looked to Aiden. He'll die without assistance. Aiden hesitated. They needed speed, not burdens. But leaving him without at least basic care crossed a line he refused to abandon. Treat him enough to stabilize him, Aiden said. Then we move. Nira nodded and administered a quick stabilizer. Mara gave Aiden a subtle nod of respect. Good call. Humanity doesn't win by becoming monsters, he said. Let's keep going. The inner fortress. They approached the fortress perimeter, an enormous structure with layered walls and glowing conduits, channeling psionic current to the throne hall. Mechanical guardians patrolled the walkways, each resembling angular beasts forged from obsidian metal. Jean examined the energy flows. These conduits feed the Emperor's amplification chamber. If we disrupt a few junctions, we weaken his lattice. Show us where, Aiden said. Jean marked a route. Mara planted EMP charges near a key node. Rourke covered high ground, eliminating sentry drones with silent precision shots. 2 mechanical guardians approached. Their movements were methodical, efficient, nearly silent. They swept the ground with scanning beams. Mara whispered, If they detect us, the fortress goes into lockdown. Aiden nodded. Wait. Now. Mara triggered the charges. The junction exploded in a burst of white static, and the guardians froze as psionic currents surged unpredictably. Jean fired a short-range disruptor, finishing them. Paths open, Jean said. They advanced deeper into the fortress. The heat intensified. The air shimmered from psionic energy radiating through walls. Rourke wiped sweat from his brow. Feels like walking into a volcano. Aiden stared ahead. That's where he awaits. Approach to the throne hall. The inner corridors were lined with towering murals depicting Vraxian triumphs, a history of domination carved in stone and gold. Conquests of ancient species. Burning worlds. Subjugated populations kneeling before the Emperor's predecessors. Mara paused at one mural showing Earth's bombardment. They recorded it like a trophy. Aiden's jaw tightened. Then let's take it off their wall. 2 Ghost Lance operatives, scouts sent ahead earlier, lay motionless near the final archway. Their armor was intact, their faces reflected terror. Aiden knelt, brushing a gloved hand across one soldier's neck. No wounds, he murmured. Looks like psionic overload. Jean whispered. He's waiting for us. A massive double door of black crystal shifted open without touch, revealing a chamber of impossible scale. The air vibrated with energy. The far end held a floating obsidian throne surrounded by spirals of glowing sigils. On that throne sat Emperor Kael'thyrix, colossal and still, eyes glowing like cold blue stars. His voice resonated without movement. Terrans, I have awaited your arrival. Aiden stepped forward, rifle steady, voice unwavering. Then let's finish this.